for the sect's purity. Your core shall fuel our ascension."
Elder Jin's hand pierced Kuro's dantian, and his golden core shattered, light-stolen meridians collapsing like burnt silk. The Grand Elder watched without pity. As Kuro's life force drained into the ritual array, they unchained his convulsing body and dragged him to the edge of the world. Then they threw him into the Yin Miasma swamp, a fetid graveyard where not even crows dared to rot. In the muck, his dying hand found a tome bound in plague dragon skin, half buried in the bones of the forgotten. The pages whispered an ancient heresy, the scripture of the plague Immortal, a being who reforged ruin into power. With his last strength, he bit into the book's spine, swallowing its secrets as the miasma filled his empty meridians. Agony seared through him. His blood thickened to venom, his breath became a curse, and his flesh shed its pain, growing immune to death itself. He rose, not as the crippled disciple Kuro, but as the plague Immortal, green mist weeping from his eyes. Kuro's first step beyond the swamp hissed. Grass blackened, and the very earth recoiled as if burned. With each stride, twisted trees, wept sap, and spirit herbs wilted, leaving a corridor of decay behind him. At the celestial sect, a greenish fog rolled over the jade gates, staining the pristine stone with rot. Kuro exhaled, and the mist thickened, slithering through the air toward the boundary formations.
Let them choke on the miasma. Let them feel the rot that was forced upon me.
The golden boundary formations shimmered, then blackened. Ancient runes crumbled as the poison ate through the wards. The stone guardian lion dog by the gate shuddered. Its granite hide softened, melting into a pool of green sludge.
"A poison has breached the outer array. Ready the inner guards. We must seal this corruption before it spreads."
Hana rushed to a fallen disciple, horrified as green veins spread. Alarm bells tolled.
This miasma pricks something in my past. Who could have crafted such a specific poison?
Hana's unease was a ghost. Years before, she had sparred with Kuro under the cherry blossoms.
Your footwork is still clumsy, but your spirit, it's unbreakable.
Then I'll keep training until my spirit alone can shatter boulders.
But above them, Elder Jin studied Kuro's progress and his core. The night of the extraction, they dragged him to the altar. The golden array drank his life.
Why are they doing this? Kuro has done nothing but serve the sect.
His core shattered, his body broken. But before the darkness took him, he saw Elder Jin's face, unmoved. They threw him into the swamp, a place even crows abandoned. The tome was not salvation. It was the only choice. Now he walked with the same resolve that once fueled his sword, but with a poison that could rot the world.
Let them fear. The same resolve that drove my sword will now smear their name across this mountain.
The tome's memories bled into Kuro's mind, a truth buried beneath the swamp's rot. Once, a plague Immortal walked the land, a sentient blight that threatened to consume the heavens. The celestial sect of old rose to stop it, sealing the entity beneath what would become their sacred ground. The silhouette of the original Immortal flickered in his mind, eyes like twin green flames, chained by golden light.
So the sect's purity. They built it on a cage. They suppress a force they cannot destroy.
The vision sharpened, a golden monument, the screaming shadow dragged deep into the earth.
If I bring down the sect, the seal may shatter. The old plague Immortal could rise again, but they took everything. My core, my life. I refuse to be a sacrifice for their corrupted purity again.
The mist at his feet thickened. Kuro opened his eyes, the poison pooling with his resolve. He resumed his march. Let the ancient ones stir. Let them all choke on the legacy they tried to bury. Kuro stepped into the outer courtyard, and the air curdled. Green mist rolled from his skin like breath on a winter dawn. The fog surged over the training grounds. Outer disciples clutched their throats, green veins webbing across their skin. The last stone guardian shuddered, its granite body sloughing into a puddle of green sludge. Hana watched in horror as a young disciple collapsed at her feet, skin blistering with black sores. Kuro walked through the gates, untouched by the miasma he commanded. His eyes swept the courtyard with cold indifference. Alarm bells clanged, but the poison already had the outer sect in a death grip. Disciples scrambled, only to fall moments later.
Where are the elders? Hiding behind their precious purity while their disciples rot.
The path to the inner sect lay open. No guards remained standing, only the dying and the dead. Hana stared through the toxic haze, and a dread certainty settled in her gut. This poison, it was born of vengeance, born of Kuro. He stepped toward the inner sanctum, the mist swirling like a shroud. Whatever stood in his way would rot. Inside the main hall, the clang of alarm bells mixed with panicked shouts. The outer defenses had fallen.
All elders to the central chamber. We enact the grand purification seal.
Channel your chi through the array. We cannot let this blight spread further.
Golden rings of light spun into existence as the elders chanted, their spells interlacing into a radiant barrier. But the green mist seeped through the weave, and the light dimmed. Cracks ran along the spell like rot on fruit. Poison dripped from the fracturing seal, splashing onto the marble floor and hissing into acrid pools. Hana watched from the edge of the chamber, her hands shaking. She could no longer deny the familiarity of that poison.
This is Kuro's doing. I don't know how, but I know his chi when it's twisted into malice. I have to stop him. No one else here will even try to understand.
She turned from the panicking elders and walked toward the inner gate, a single disciple against a plague.
Kuro, stop. It's me, Hana. Please, I know it's you under that poison.
Hana, step aside. You are not my enemy, but you will be if you stand in my way.
We trained together, bled together. The sect wronged you, but this is slaughter.
Slaughter? Where was your voice when they ripped my core out for their purity? Where was your voice then?
The green mist coiled tighter around him, thickening as his fury burned in the air.
I didn't know. I swear it. But I am here now. Don't become the monster they made you to be.
She still sees the disciple, but that man is dead. Only the plague immortal remains.
He brushed past her without another word, his shoulder grazing hers, and the poison left a cold sting on her sleeve.
He's gone. The Kuro, I knew. He's truly gone.
Kuro walked on, and Hana stood frozen, the mist swallowing her footsteps as she watched him disappear into the inner sect. Kuro entered the inner sanctum. The sacred gardens blackened before him, spirit herbs crumbling to ash, lotus ponds curdled into green sludge. Ancient pagodas groaned, eaves dripping with corrosive ooze.
We need a stronger seal. The heaven-devouring array. Now, pour your life force into it.
Do it. If the array fails, the inner sect falls with it.
The elders wept golden blood into the array, but the poison ate through the runes before they could bind. The array shattered, sending shards of cursed chi through the hall. Elders collapsed, veins blackening.
This isn't just a poison. It's a grudge given form. That boy, he's become something beyond our control.
Jin stared at the crumbling sanctum, then at the monument in the distance. The seal was still intact, but for how much longer?
Look at them scramble. They thought they could cage a plague, and now it's come home to rot.
Elder Jin turned to the remaining elders, a grim decision hardening his face. They would have to use the last contingency. Kuro stepped into the central plaza, where the great monument stood, a golden obelisk humming with sealed power. He pressed his palm against the cold stone, and the poison in his veins pulsed in recognition.
Stop. Do not touch that stone. It is a seal, and your core was the last lock upon it. We did not take your core for purity alone. It was needed to anchor the ancient plague immortal. Without it, The abyss stirs.
Kiro's hand fell, the revelation searing through him. His core, a key to cage a god of plague.
All this time, my life was stolen, not for their vanity, but to imprison a horror beneath us.
If you unleash your full poison, the monument will crumble and the Ancient One will rise. Doom the world, Kuro, or let your revenge die.
The poison mist around Kuro flared, then stilled, his eyes burning with emerald fire, fixed on the elder.
They made me a sacrifice, whether I willed it or not. But if I cease, their crime is never answered.
Kuro stood motionless, the weight of two evils pressing down. The monument hummed, awaiting his verdict.
Let the Ancient One wake. It will choke on the same legacy that tried to bury me.
He drove his poison deep into the stone, and the obelisk screamed, a shriek of metal and broken wards. Golden light bled from the fissures, mixing with poison as the ancient seal began to fracture.
No, you'll doom us all. The abyss will consume everything.
Kuro's plague miasma swirled into a cyclone, tendrils lashing at the crumbling obelisk. Deep beneath the mountain, something vast and malevolent stretched, its presence rattling the very foundations. Sect barriers dimmed and shattered, the last defenses failing as the entity's hunger seeped into the world. Kuro walked forward, past the groaning monument, the poison trailing behind him like a funeral shroud. Elder Jin stared, his last hope crumbling. The ancient plague Immortal stirred, and the mountain wept poison. The mountain shuddered, green fog cloaking its summit. The ancient plague Immortal stirred in its chains. The poison billowed deeper, curling around the young and the uninitiated. Disciples with no role in the ritual clutched their throats and fell.
Kuro, please. These are not the elders. They are children sent here to learn, not to die for your vengeance.
She cradled a young disciple, the child's skin already turning gray. Her voice cracked with desperation.
Your fight was never with them. I know you remember what it was like to be a junior disciple, trusting the seniors to protect you.
Her words cut deeper than any blade. The child, that could have been me, years ago. Before the betrayal,
The swirling miasma halted, as if held by an invisible hand. The plague's advance shuddered to a stop.
You can feel it, can't you? The part of you that is still human. Don't let them bury that too.
if I continue, I become the very evil they sacrificed me to cage. But if I stop, their crime goes unpunished.
Even as he hesitated, the abyss beneath the mountain snarled, hungry and patient. The monster did not care for mercy. Kuro stood frozen between two abysses, the one he had become and the one he was about to unleash. Kuro's hesitation was his opening. Elder Jin lunged, sword blazing with desperate golden light.
You would bury the world to avenge one man. Then I'll bury you first.
His strike cut through the miasma, a slash of light aimed at Kuro's heart. Kuro swayed, poison lashing from his veins like a living shield. The air sizzled where light met rot.
He forces my hand. Even when I pause, the plague must answer.
Blade and plague clashed, each impact driving the poison deeper into the mountain. The seal shrieked, the last defense formation shattered, a dome of golden light collapsing into a rain of dust, a roar from beneath them. The Ancient One's hunger, now a physical force, cracking stone and shaking the sky.
He fights like a man who knows he's already lost. But his desperation only feeds the beast below.
They fought amidst a realm of poison and gold. While the world teetered on the edge of a final abyss, the monument shattered, its golden names blackening as the seal rent apart. With a sound like the sky tearing, a colossal silhouette rose from the chasm, the ancient plague Immortal, its form dripping with the malice of eons. Eyes like twin green suns opened, and its breath turned the very air to corrosive slag.
What have you done? The abyss walks among us.
I meant to destroy the sect, not become the midwife to this apocalypse.
The entity roared, a shockwave of pure miasma, hurling both combatants across the plaza like broken dolls. Jin raised a golden barrier, but the ancient plague pressed against it, eager and insatiable. Kuro's own poison buckled, recoiling as it recognized a master far older than himself.
If we don't contain it now, there will be no sect left to avenge.
The two enemies lay battered, staring up at the god of rot they had unleashed together. The ancient plague Immortal turned its malevolent gaze toward the huddled innocents, its miasma tendrils slithering toward them like hungry serpents.
Get back. I won't let you touch them.
Kuro saw Hana raise a weak barrier, her face pale with terror. His poison-given heart stuttered.
If I let her die, then I am no better than Jin. My vengeance will have devoured its own reason.
He forced his battered body upright, poison swirling not to destroy, but to shield.
Elder, if you want your sect to survive, put up the strongest barrier you have. I will draw its gaze.
Elder Jin stared, then without a word, channeled his remaining life force into a cocoon of gold around the survivors. Kuro shot forward, a spear of green miasma slamming into the entity's flank. The Ancient One turned, intrigued by the challenger.
He came back. Even after everything, he chose to protect us.
As the two plague immortals faced each other, Kuro knew this was no longer a war of revenge. It was a war for survival. Kuro clashed with the ancient plague Immortal, again and again, his poison tearing at its form. Yet the entity simply reformed, its malice unblemished.
Every strike I land only fuels its hunger. This power, it was never meant to destroy this ancient evil.
The only way to bind it is to become the seal yourself. A willing vessel of plague can imprison it again.
Kuro froze, the words slicing through his battle fury. To become the seal was to surrender his body, his revenge, his very self.
Kuro, please? You've already proven you are not a monster. This is the only way to save everyone.
I became the plague Immortal for revenge, and now they ask me to become a prison. Is my hatred worth more than every life here?
The Ancient One laughed, a sound like grinding bone, and its tendrils wrapped around Kuro, squeezing the life from him. Through the crushing pressure, Kuro saw the monument's scattered rubble, the names of the sect now lost and meaningless.
Their name is already smeared, dust. My revenge is complete. Now, I can choose to be something else.
He began to pull the entity's miasma into himself, his body fracturing with green light, a living seal forging in sacrifice. The Ancient One fought back, its miasma erupting in a desperate bid to escape the living net. Kuro was weaving.
Even as my bones crack and my veins burn, I will hold. I am the plague. I decide where it flows.
Kuro, don't leave us. Please, there has to be another way.
The seal is holding. Focus your will. I will pour the last of my golden core into the formation.
Let him spend his stolen power. It's the only restitution he will ever offer.
A blinding flash of green and gold erupted as the two plague forces collided, the mountain itself buckling under the strain. Amidst the shattered monument, Kuro's body became the new seal, a prison of flesh and venom, rooted to the heart of the mountain.
I promise. I'll make sure they remember you, not as a villain, but as the one who saved us all.
Do not mourn. I chose this. Tell the sect. Their name is already ash.
With one final, echoing cry, the ancient plague Immortal was bound, and Kuro's form became a silent sentinel, a monument to poisoned vengeance and reluctant redemption. The plaza fell into an eerie silence, broken only by the soft weeping of the wounded mountain. Hana stepped out from the fading golden barrier, her eyes fixed on the green-lit statue that had been Kuro.
Even in stone, you carry an unyielding defiance. I won't let your sacrifice be buried.
The seal, it holds, but the poison is not gone. It has merely concentrated in him.
Tendrils of green slowly crept from the statue's base, threading through the rubble, claiming the mountain as a permanent sanctuary.
He said their name is already Ash, but I can make sure the world knows what happened here.
She knelt beside a shattered fragment of the obelisk, tracing the melted gold of a now unreadable name.
The celestial sect's purity was a lie. I will tell everyone. He deserves that much.
Elder Jin watched her, his pride shattered. No strength left to argue. The sect elders were dead or dying, and so, with the mountain forever poisoned and its legacy in ruins, the true story of the celestial sect began to spread, a cautionary tale of stolen cultivation and a vengeance that became a reluctant salvation.
So, this is the end, a prison of your own making. You've won, Kuro. The celestial sect dies with me.
Elder Jin's life force, already spent, finally gave out. His body crumbled into golden dust, scattered by the foul wind. The last elder of the celestial sect was gone, leaving only the poisoned mountain and the truth of its crimes.
Then it's done. The sect that stole his future is buried with its own lies. Only the truth remains to be told.
Descending the mountain, Hana paused at the ruined jade gates, now cracked and festering with black rot.
From here, I will carry his story. The world will know the plague Immortal was not a monster, but the sect's own creation.
Behind her, the celestial sect lay in eternal decay. Its pavilions collapsed, and its sacred gardens, a swamp of green miasma. At the heart of the poison, the statue of Kuro stood eternal, the plague Immortal's vengeance complete. His name smeared across the mountain in venomed silence. No golden monument would ever mark this place again. Only the tale of a stolen cultivation and a revenge that became a reluctant salvation. Thus ends the celestial sect, not with purity, but with the very poison it sought to suppress. The mountain never healed. The poison Kuro unleashed became its eternal shroud, a green veil that no wind could lift. The last disciples, those who survived, fled the mountain, their cultivation forever tainted by the miasma they inhaled. The jade gates crumbled into green dust. The runes that once sealed now sealing nothing but a tomb. The sect's banner, once a symbol of purity, now hung in tatters, its golden words eaten away by rot. At the heart, the plague Immortal's statue wept poison into the earth, a sentinel that would never sleep. No elder remained, no disciple would return. The mountain belonged to the plague, a kingdom of rot, and so the tale they tried to bury became the only truth the world would remember. Kuro's name, once erased, was now etched in fear and rumor across the land. The plague Immortal who poisoned a sect. The celestial sect was no more. Only the plague Immortal remained, a monument to vengeance and a warning. This was the price of their purity. A mountain of poison and a truth that could never be cleansed. Hana descended the mountain, never looking back. The rot had already claimed everything she knew. Word spread like a slow poison itself, whispers of a vengeful cultivator who became a plague. In villages at the foot of the mountain, survivors spoke of the plague Immortal's fury with trembling voices. No one dared approach the cursed peak. The green mist was a permanent shroud over the dead sect. They said his eyes wept poison, his breath could rot the heavens, and his vengeance was absolute. The tome that gave him power was never found, buried once more in the Yin Miasma swamp. But his sacrifice was not forgotten. A statue of venom and stone now seals the abyss forever. The celestial sect became a ghost story, a warning to those who would steal the future of another.
I kept my promise. Your story will never be buried.
And in the heart of the poison, the plague Immortal kept his vigil until the end of time. The seasons turned, but the green veil never lifted. The mountain remained a monument to ruin and revenge. No pilgrim dared approach the cursed peak. The very air whispered a warning in the gale. In the Yin Miasma swamp, the plague dragon tome slept once more, its knowledge buried beneath the rot. Hana's truth became a legend, spoken in hushed tones around flickering fires, a story of stolen cultivation and poisonous revenge. They called him a demon, a plague, a curse. But a few remembered the disciple who was sacrificed. The plague immortal kept his vigil, a statue of green stone and bitter tears, never sleeping, never forgiving. The golden monument was gone, replaced by a sentinel of venom. No name would ever be etched here again, and so the celestial sect passed into legend. Its name rotted alongside its elders. Only the plague immortal remained, a permanent shadow over the mountain. This was the price of stolen cultivation, a world reminded that some poisons never fade, they only wait. The plague immortal's vigil was never ending, and the mountain wept poison for all eternity. Hana walked the low roads, speaking the truth to anyone who would listen. Her voice was the last relic of the celestial sect. In every village, she told of the stolen core, the false purity, and the plague immortal who came back for what was his. She never returned to the mountain. But every year, on the day of the betrayal, she lit a single candle for the vengeful friend she lost. The mountain remained a green wound on the land, a scar that would never heal, a warning to all who sought power through betrayal. In the Yin Miasma swamp, the crows still circled. The ragged tome waited in the muck for another desperate soul.
Sleep, Hana. Let the world remember. My poison is not vengeance alone. It is memory. It is truth.
The banner of the celestial sect finally rotted away, its golden threads dissolving into the green mist. And so it ends, not with an explosion, but with a whisper. A stolen cultivation, a poisoned legacy, an eternal vigil. He will wait there, the plague immortal, a monument to what they stole, and a promise that some debts are never forgotten. The plague immortal watches, and the mountain weeps forever.